It's television, man.
My name is Daniel Hill. I play in an alternative rock band called Yellow Tie Guy. I really appreciate the chance to play here at the Farmers Market. I think farmers markets are just a staple of the community, something we need to continue a tradition of, and I think it's a beautiful thing. So I appreciate the chance to be here today. I wrote this song in memory of Butch Trucks, Allman Brothers Band. Thank you. Your time will come, but you must pay your dues. And one day when you will find you've got nothing to lose. You come to realize many others have come before, and far too many have fallen down before your time. One day we'll all meet down by the cemetery in memory of Elizabeth Reed. Come to
this is Hef Munson. I am here in Arlington at one of the better kept secrets, Woodlawn Park. It is kind of tucked away just to the north of Washington Boulevard and just off Abingdon Street, actually between Abington and Buchanan Streets. And it's a part of everyday Arlington. Those features that are here for free that a lot of people just forget to go out and enjoy. So let's take a stroll around. One of the lovely things about Woodlawn Park is the fact that it's got this nice little sign telling you that you have arrived. You'll notice the address is 1325 North Buchanan Street. That way you'll know where to come. I haven't really dwelt on this so much in other stand-ups, but Arlington County parks do have certain rules which we ought to respect. For example, the park is open from sunrise to 1/2 hour after sunset, except for the lighted athletic facilities. Alcohol and smoking are not permitted in the park. Cooking fires or grilling are permitted only in areas where grills are provided. All pets must be on a leash at all times. And cleanup after your pet is mandatory. Pets are not permitted on athletic fields, playgrounds, or courts. In addition, you're supposed to respect the posted field designations, and the use of metal detectors is prohibited. So, those are the rules. One feature I always look for in a park is a nice working water fountain. In this case, they have a nice little metal doggy dish beside it. The sunglasses that you see were probably left here by somebody else and should not be considered part of the standard equipment. As is the case with most Arlington County parks, there are proper trash receptacles, one for conventional trash and another for recycling. Arlington is conscientious about these things. Another feature of Arlington County parks is this marvelous playground equipment that I can assure you they did not have when I was a kid. But it's pretty impressive. There's little houses and slides and some kind of miniature observatory, and it's stuff I hardly understand, but it's pretty impressive. Here is a special kind of children's ride that I don't understand, but it must be good. Here's a feature I can relate to: benches for sitting down and not leaping about and just resting. Here is another piece of playground equipment which they did not have when I was a kid, and it's probably a good thing. I would have broken my neck and possibly other body parts. However, the young people today seem to have a much better grasp of these things. They are to be commended for this. Oh, one other useful thing to note here is we have this lovely spongy material at the base of these things, along with wood chips, which will help to break anybody's fall, as long as it's not from too far up. And I ask you, what would an Arlington County park be without a nice basketball hoop? Well, I'll tell you, it would be a park without a basketball hoop. So there. Another nice feature of most Arlington County parks, and Woodlawn is no exception, is you have these streams running through it, and it helps provide a sort of natural air conditioning, good cooling arrangement. And you just go near the stream and sit in the shade, and it's really quite pleasant. Another feature that I like is the fact that there are a number of nice little trails going through the park so that you can wander about to your heart's content. And of course there are benches along the trails so that you can sit down to keep your heart contented. Here is another feature that I find personally attractive. It is a nice big field that functions as a nice big field. You can pretty well imagine that you could do just about anything you wanted on here. Well, that's about enough from me about Woodlawn Park. Again, it's one of the nice featured places in everyday Arlington, and It's free. It's one of those places that a lot of people simply forget are there and should really come out and enjoy.
My name's Rock Bigger and I'd like to play for you. Everywhere you pass the brings like a rock guitar. 109 from Graceville in his dad's old car. Gently with his fingers, then never squeeze those springs. Would it scandalize the peanut boy to shake that thing? Daddy paints the houses with his radio on, 'cause it's too screaming sounds of Stevie Ray Vaughan. And it comes home from the roadhouse by the Sony plant, rumbling about those Beagle Dogs and the Marshall Tucker Band. The KO Corral gave you a 2-hour show. 20 minutes in, the band said, "Hey, we can't play tomorrow." "Not tomorrow." Well, fellas, she just laughed and she said, "Leave everything to me." She got on the phone and called up little Jimmy Reed. "No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. You're paid to remind myself of Panthers who used to be. And say yes with a smile when you're asked, hey, shook, you remember me?" No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. Put that power pop poster tape on that Pratt Hill 8-track and carry the band to Athens all alone on your back. And believe them in Atlanta when they say you've got the licks. Stay here and send that dead weight packing on back to the sticks. They were slow to take your calls. Now when's that happen? Maybe when you're 32. And you take a look around you and see there's a dozen guys that play just like you. You burn every bridge, but you come home any way you can. Now you got that gig down at the Roadhouse by the Sony plant. No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. You're paid to remind myself of Panthers who used to be. And say yes with a smile when you're asked, hey, shoot, do you remember me? No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. No, you can't play for those kids forever, Bobby Lee. Paris, Babel View, Paris, Babel View, Paris, Babel View. Batman of Birmingham. Well, they say he wore a white jumpsuit and a cape and a helmet that both were brown. That mobile was long and behind the glass at the Alabama State Fairground. Oh, Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batman of Birmingham. Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batman of Birmingham. Well, the Batmobile was long and maroon, custom fancy tops and flashing lights. Underneath that old Batmobile, he was called the Glory Blade one lonesome night. Oh, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batman of Birmingham. Oh, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batman of Birmingham. Well, the Batmobile, it was long and maroon, with custom fancy tops and flashing lights. Underneath that old Batmobile, he was called the Glory Lake one lonesome night. Oh, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batman of Birmingham. Oh, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batmobile, Willie Jim Perry's Batman of Birmingham. Well, the Batman of Birmingham. Thank you guys so much.
My life was a story of rejection and perseverance in adversity. My father had a third-grade education and grew up on a farm, having little respect for education. I don't think he ever knew his father. Although I was born in the age of segregation and lived through the Martin Luther King era, the most hatred I ever saw in my entire life was in my father's eyes. My mother was the pride and joy of her family, but became a college dropout who seemed to think that education was key. Her father died when she was a young girl, and her mother was a maid trying to raise 5 children as a widow. My mother was the last hope for one of my grandmother's children to attend college and earn a college degree. After her first daughter was born, my mother only wanted sons, so she showed me little affection, even to the point of one day telling me, "Nobody wants you." When I was in the 6th grade, the school nurse sent a note home with me saying that I needed glasses, but my parents refused to buy them for me and did not want anyone else to help me, even though they bought glasses for 2 of my siblings. For years, I tried to win my mother's affection until I realized that it was fruitless. She projected her dislike of me onto my siblings, even though she wanted them to benefit from the fact that I was obviously gifted. When I was 16 or 17 years of age, I discovered a letter which an older brother had written to my father, telling him that I cannot be a success, even though I think I can. This only fueled my desire to one day become a great success. In my last 2 years of high school, I enrolled in a Catholic school, but my father refused to pay the tuition. While attending the school, I took the SAT test along with the rest of my class, but I never received any SAT test scores nor acknowledgement of receipt of my SAT test by the college board. During this period, I overheard other black students saying that the nuns were telling prospective employers not to hire the black students. Upon graduation, I did not receive my diploma because the tuition was not paid. I was 3rd in my class. I wanted to go into the military, but I made the mistake of telling a woman whose grandson wanted to marry me, and she convinced me of how unsafe the military would be for young girls. Years later, I realized that she was trying to help her grandson, who told me 10 years later that he would probably never marry anyone else. I applied for many jobs, but was not hired until I eventually found a job at a car wash. I worked in the summer heat and in the freezing cold. Sometimes it was so cold that the towels with which I wiped down the cars froze while I was working. One day it was so cold that everyone around me stopped working and went home. The number of unwiped cars increased until the manager came out to investigate the reason and asked me where everyone else was. I told him that they went home. When he asked why, I told him they were cold and continued working. I was cold too, but I was a dreamer who believed in the future. He had to send people who were cleaning the tires on cars in the back of the car wash to help me. Shortly after starting this job, my father chased me out of his house with severe hatred in his eyes, but wanted me to be his daughter when he was 70, and I no longer needed a father. From working at the car wash, I made enough money to pay off my Catholic school tuition. When I received my diploma, there was an Honor Society sticker attached, even though I was not allowed to be inducted into the Honor Society. Since the first grade, I had the desire to attend college, and I eventually enrolled in an HBCU institution and applied for financial aid, but received a rejection letter stating that I was ineligible and that parents are supposed to help their children. I did not have anyone to help me with this. Still, I was determined to go to college. Some semesters I worked days at the car wash and attended college at night, and I continued to work on weekends. During the summer months, I worked and saved money for college. In my junior year of college, the university administration became aware of the 4.0 black student, and my senior year of college was completely paid for through scholarship money. Toward the end of my senior year, I was contacted by Carnegie Mellon University and offered an opportunity to attend a summer program, which I did. At the end of the summer, I was offered a scholarship and enrolled in the university in mathematics at a time when women in the sciences were underrepresented, and I was ill prepared for the challenge. So I transferred to a university in the Washington metropolitan area where I obtained a master's degree in mathematics. I do not regret attending Carnegie Mellon, and if I get another opportunity, I will return as a much wiser student. My mother used my love of college to influence my youngest brother to want to attend college, and she asked me to help him go to college, which I did, and also bought him nice clothes and helped him with his calculus problems. My mother was not content with my helping one sibling and talked to me as though she thought it was my responsibility to help her other children. The two siblings younger than I eventually got college degrees. Years later, in 2001, when my youngest brother thought that he was successful working at a global telecommunications company, he refused all communications with me. Eventually, I realized that separation from my family was key to my success, and I have not had any communication with any family member for over 15 years. Like my mother, I have a great thirst for knowledge, yet unlike her, I was blessed with great fortitude and inner strength to pursue my goals. Many years ago, when I worked at Boeing, I met a man who told me that success is picking yourself back up just one more time than you get knocked down. I decided then that I would pick myself back up and start all over again as many times as is necessary to finally become a great success. In 1994, I started my own IT business, which terminated in 2007. After that, I did tutoring and worked odd jobs. I became homeless, living in my 2001 Saturn, but learned to have faith in and depend upon the Creator. In 2011, I started a learning center designed to help prepare people of all ages for college. During this time, I also learned that there are opportunities for senior citizens to improve their minds through low cost or free education. If you are 60 or older, college is a good place to go. Northern Virginia Community College has a number of campuses where senior citizens are welcome to take courses for free. Going to college can help take your mind off your circumstances and give you a sense of accomplishment. In 2017, at the age of 65, I decided to start preparing to enter a doctoral degree program. So I returned to my alma mater in the Washington metropolitan area under a senior citizen course audit program in which alumni aged 65 and older pay only $65 to audit a course. I am using this avenue to take refresher math courses before seeking a university where I can pursue a doctorate degree. In October 2017, the president of the university told me that he does not think that anyone my age can get a doctorate degree. I am strong-willed, and I believe that if I continue to audit courses and learn, I will eventually attract the attention of a university where I will be given scholarships to pay for my doctorate degree. During the past 2 years, I developed a very strong and unshakable faith in the Creator. And one of my favorite quotes is, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger." I believe that when one door closes, God will open a bigger and a better door. I would encourage everyone out there to always seek the positive in life and to not be deterred by negative people or negative circumstances. Someone once said, if life gives you a lemon, make lemonade. You can make your lemonade as sweet as you like. My goal is to obtain 2 or more doctorate degrees, at least one in mathematics, and to build learning centers all over the world to lead the hurting, the misguided, and the downtrodden out of the darkness of despair and into the light of self-confidence, productivity, creativity, and achievement. My learning centers will be designed to help those in need to break out of the captivities of their past, shut the door on those negative pasts, and press on toward the goal of the bright futures which is before them and their posterity.